Mr. Whitson, you may begin.
Chairman Van Drew, Ranking Member Crockett, Chairman Jordan, Ranking Member Raskin, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. Elections have consequences. And in just 4 years, the Biden administration managed to politicize and weaponize the FBI in ways never seen. Whether targeting then-candidate Trump, parents at school board meetings, or Catholics doing nothing more than practicing their faith, the Biden administration hijacked the FBI to promote the left's political objectives. But it gets worse. While the full investigative resources of the FBI focused on the January 6 protesters and other perceived political enemies, the Biden administration manufactured the worst border crisis in our nation's history, allowing criminals, terrorists, and drugs to flood into our country at unimaginable levels. The result was predictable: an explosion of human trafficking, violent crime, and drug-related deaths. And with more than 2 million known gotaways on Biden's watch, the threat of a terrorist attack on the homeland is greater than it's ever been. But there's another big problem. Not only did the Biden administration's actions undermine public safety, but they also caused a majority of Americans to lose trust in the FBI. And this loss of trust is a crisis, not only for the FBI, but for the country. But there's good news. Again, elections have consequences. And with President Trump back in office, the FBI now has a new director working aggressively to right the ship. But it's not going to happen overnight, and regaining the trust of Americans is going to require significant and sweeping changes. And here's 7 such changes. First, clean house. With new leadership poised to get the FBI back on track, one big hurdle stands in the way: entrenched bureaucrats. We've already seen this play out in dramatic fashion with the now former FBI leader in New York who tried to coerce his subordinates to, quote, dig in against the administration. This was a clear act of insubordination that deeply embarrassed the FBI and only further undermined public trust. And there are surely other FBI employees still entrenched in the Bureau that will resist meaningful change in less obvious but equally harmful ways. Look, it's simple. While the vast majority of FBI employees are incredible, hardworking people who will faithfully execute their duties, the few who undermine the new leadership cannot be allowed to do so. And those who have engaged in past behavior warranting dismissal or who refuse to come to work when ordered to do so must be fired, period. Number 2, drain the swamp. Director Patel should drastically reduce the size of the FBI headquarters, keeping a small footprint in DC to promote accountability while shifting more staff and resources to the field offices and other locations outside the Beltway. Relocating the FBI outside of DC would save money and reduce political influence by allowing the FGI to hire professional staff from outside the DC bubble. Number 3, moving the bulk of FBI headquarters out of DC will present a natural opportunity to consolidate and reorganize existing units that perform duplicative or outdated missions. Director Patel should seize this opportunity to promote efficiency and save taxpayer dollars. Number 4, get DEI out of the FBI. Under former Director Comey, the FBI moved away from merit-based hiring and instead toward race-based hiring. Moving forward, Director Patel should ensure that all hiring decisions are based purely on merit and talent. Number 5, the FBI should be refocused back to a law enforcement agency that uses intelligence to advance its law enforcement mission, rather than an intelligence agency that also engages in law enforcement. Patel could start by eliminating the intelligence branch and merging its personnel and mission into the FBI's other operational units. Intelligence in the FBI should be a tool to advance investigations, not its own standalone department. Number 6, we need more oversight and accountability within the FBI. But to earn back the trust of the American people, Congress must get involved. Besides conducting your own oversight, Congress should also consider creating new criminal penalties for FBI employees who knowingly abuse the FBI's investigative powers. And finally, to get the FBI back on track, Director Patel should execute his own DOGE effort to identify waste, fraud, and abuse within the FBI. At the end of the day, America deserves and needs a world-class law enforcement agency it can trust. With the current leadership in place, the FBI is well on its way to becoming that agency once again, because after all, elections have consequences. With that, I thank you for the opportunity to testify in today's hearing, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Whitson.